Hi, my name is Arthur Andrews, and I'm a registered nurse. Today we're going to talk to you about fluoridation in community water systems. So, over 60 years ago, the first community began to fluoridate their water systems in Michigan. And since that time, fluoridating community water supplies has become the most effective measure to prevent tooth decay. And the Center for Disease Control has declared community water fluoridation as one of the 10 greatest health achievements of the 20th century. So research suggests that fluoridating community water systems is beneficial to the entire community for two reasons. Because it reduces cavities over the course of an individual's lifetime, and it is an inexpensive method of saving members of the community on dental care expenses. So communities who fluoridate their water systems see an estimated 25% reduction in cavities over an individual's lifetime for both adults and children per the CDC. And for every $1 spent on fluoridating community water systems, it saves about $38 on dental expenses in the community. So let's take a closer look at these 2 points. The first point, community water fluoridation does prevent tooth decay. When talking about preventing tooth decay, it is important to look at why it is important to take preventative measures to prevent tooth decay. Although tooth decay has declined amongst children and adults over the last 30 years, it still remains the most chronic disease of children ages 6 to 19. And for the Center for Disease Control, it is 4 times more common than asthma among teenagers aged 14 to 17. So, an analysis of 21 studies in 2000 concluded that fluoridated water reduced cavities in children ages 4 to 17 by 29% per the American Academy of Pediatrics. And in 2007, 9 studies were examined, and it was found that in adults, fluoridated water reduced cavities by 27%, also per the American Academy of Pediatrics. But tooth decay is not the only important part of community water fluoridation systems. It's also cost effective. Per the American Academy of Pediatrics, fluoridating community water systems just might yield the highest return on investment of any public health strategy. And so when we look at the investment compared to the return on investment, you can see that it costs, for every dollar that you invest in the community water system, it returns $38 saved on dental care expenses. But what do those numbers mean? For every $1 invested in the system, that number includes the purchase, the setup, the maintenance, and the operation of the fluoridated water system. The $38 that's returned is attributed to time lost from work and cost savings on fillings and extractions. And that's per the Center for Disease Control and the American Academy of Pediatrics. So when you look at what both of these numbers include, it is evident that the return on investment is extremely unbalanced. And if anyone was presented with a personal investment strategy that returned $38 for every $1 you invested, no one would refuse an opportunity of that nature. It's just good fiscal responsibility on the part of a community. But that's not the only way it saves a community on money. In a 1999 study of Louisiana parishes found that low-income children without access to fluoridated water, that they were 3 times more likely to need dental treatment in an emergency room than those children with access to fluoridated water. In a 2010 Washington State study found that dental disorders were the #1 cause of uninsured patients visiting emergency rooms. And both of those statistics come via the American Academy of Pediatrics. So, fluoridated water systems not only gives the highest return on investment of any public health strategy, but it also helps to raise the overall health of a community by preventing dental decay. So, per the Center for Disease Control, fluoridating water lowers tooth decay by approximately 25% for both adults and children. And per the American Dental Association, fluoridating community water systems yields $38 for every $1 invested in the system. So In closing, fluoridating the community water system is a cost-effective way for a city to get involved in public health strategies that not only sees a high return on investment, but raises the overall health of a community at the same time. Are there any questions?
Doesn't fluoride cause a harmful condition called fluorosis?
That's a good question. So, per the Academy, the American Academy of Pediatrics, nearly all fluorosis in the U.S. is mild and cosmetic in nature. While it can cause some small white flecks to appear on the teeth, it is usually so faint that it can only be detected by a dentist, and it does not cause any pain. It does not affect the health of the individual, and it does not affect the functionality of the teeth. In fact, most experts agree that the #1 cause of fluorosis is actually caused by children swallowing toothpaste, which contains 1,000 times more fluoride than fluoridated water. And that is why it is recommended that parents supervise children under the age of 6 while they are brushing their teeth.
Isn't adding fluoride to community water systems bad for the environment?
That's another great question. So per the Center for Disease Control, the fluoride that is added to community water systems is highly regulated. In fact, fluoride is found naturally in all water systems, including seawater, surface waters, and groundwater. Due to the dilution effect in rivers and streams that receive treated wastewater and the tight regulations on fluoridating community water systems, the amount of fluoride is the same above stream as it is downstream around a fluoridated community. So if you have any further questions, you can always email me at arthurandrews@comcast.net.